Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal one day at a time. Sometimes we start thinking that we're a narcissist. Were we doing something wrong? This is a key thing to understand is when you get in a narcissistic relationship, there's all that mirroring that goes on and things are good. So you're up here mirroring each other. And then when they start to bring us down, we start to mirror them. And if you can kind of think about the people that you hang out with, you start to pick up their traits, whether you say, geez, Louise, and you would never say that, or I don't know, a sandwich short of a picnic, whatever the sayings are, that you start like doing that, or and you're like, why am I doing that? Because we're picking up traits that just kind of change us over time. So when you're in a narcissistic relationship, there is a lot of mirroring that goes on because they don't have a true self. They change us, they steal our soul, and as we get depleted, we start picking up their traits because we need something inside of us as well. We want the great mirroring that's way up top, the way we think it should be, the way it was kind of promised to us. But as time goes by, they kind of settle into who they are. It's just more comfortable for them. It's too exhausting to stay up at a higher level. So if you can kind of think of like energy, this is emotional energy, but compared to physical energy. Let's say I was a marathon runner and we're trying to run and run and run. And you're like, I cannot do this every day. Like for one thing, I don't even like it. For another thing, it's exhausting. It's getting to the point where I've done it for so many days. I haven't built up the endurance. I'm just exhausted. And over the time with your relationship, that's kind of what the narcissist starts to feel is like, this isn't what I want to do anyways. This is too exhausting. It's all a facade that I'm pretending I'm somebody who I'm not. And so they need to get that energy in by bringing us down here and taking it from us. And that's when they start demeaning us. Often, a lot of times in narcissistic relationships, they always want us to leave. They don't want to be the bad guy. They don't want to have to explain things to their friends. They don't want people looking down on them that they left a good person. They don't want their image damaged. That's very important to a narcissist. And so as time goes by, we start to pick up their traits and then we question it and we get to be more uncomfortable and we want to fix things. So we often will come at them to fix it. And they don't like fixing it because that means that they have to accept responsibility for some of it. Whether they verbalize it or internalize it, they have to go through that thought process of, I did something wrong, or somebody's looking down on me, or somebody wants me to correct who I am. They don't want to think about it. They just want to live their life. And that's why they don't get emotionally attached. They do care about people, but not at a deep, empathetic, truly loving, where they comprehend what they're doing. They care about their kids. A lot of times that's image. Some narcissists don't. They need the supply too bad that they take it from their kids. Some care about their kids for the image. It's the thing that you're supposed to do. If you have beautiful, talented kids, things like that. But often if there's something challenging about the child, the parent kind of takes like an anger towards any challenges, and they'll take that out on the kid, trying to overcompensate or take away from the child because they felt something was taken away from them, which is kind of sad. Everybody's special in their own way. And as we go through these relationships, the more we are with them, the more they devalue us, the more we try to get it back on track. We're both building up resentments. We want things back to the way they were. We're not understanding, like, why is this so hard? And we start, like, in a sense, resenting how they're treating us, why they're not working with us. We start questioning our own self reality on, how am I not communicating the right way? I've said this 1,000 different times. That's when we start walking on eggshells, which means they're going to devalue us more. And it's just this horrible, vicious cycle. So if you ever feel like you're a narcissist, because I've seen a lot of posts on that, just check who you are in your soul. And just remember that the longer you stay with them, there are some traits that you will pick up. Just like saying Jesus Louise, it's going to take some time not to say it just because it became a habit. Not that that's what you wanted to say, or the way you wanted to act. You were picking up their traits, their habits. And a lot of it you can fight off. Like there's certain sayings you're like, I am never going to say that. But subconsciously, they are changing you. And that's why a lot of times they say go no contact, because the longer you stay with them, they're going to make you question who you are, not only your reality, not what's real, are the words that they're saying, the feelings that they're saying, is that true? They're going to make you question yourself. And that's a hard thing to take. And I know the pain that we feel is over the loss if you guys broke up, or the frustrations if you are still in the relationship. But the other part is we're just like mourning ourselves. So we got a lot to mourn, and they just move on. They like, that's not a comfortable feeling to mourn something, and they just let it go. Instead of processing it, they let it go. So if you're worried about the new supply, they have all that baggage that they're bringing into that new relationship. Now, granted, they picked up tips and tricks of how to win somebody. Maybe they'll kind of compensate here and there if they want society to see them as not a failure again. Let's say they got married a second time. They don't want to be seen as a failure. But if and when it will, they start to devalue the new supply, it'll start to get to the point where, they're so off balance that a lot of times the narcissist will make things so miserable. So you leave, you look like the bad guy. And that's even harder to take. It's like, why didn't you just tell me? Like, I just wasted 5 more years trying to struggle, make this work, when you could have just told me it's irreconcilable, which we hope it is, but if that's the reality of it, instead of making our lives miserable, wouldn't it be nice to just let us move on? But they don't do that, because if their future that they see doesn't turn out the way they thought after they left you, they want that open door to come back. That's another reason why they don't leave. And just be careful on losing yourself. That's why the sooner you get out of the relationship, you can try for a while. You can try for a while, but it's always going to revert back to them just stealing your soul. And it's just a vicious cycle. So even if it looks like it's getting better, it's running that marathon, and they're like, I don't even like this. I'm trying. Screw it. I don't care anymore. And they'll just relax. And then you're like, "Oh, all right, now I got to run this marathon," which I hate. So they have more resentment. So a lot of times, each time you get back together, it's worse because they resent having to do anything for us. We think it's like, be great. We can get into shape. We can do this together. And they're like, I don't have the desire to be what I promised you I was on board with. So you're not a narcissist. If you really did truly try to work things out, you tried to understand, but you can pick up narcissistic traits, and you can regain yourself. You know who you are in your heart. There might be some narcissists watching this, but I think they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, whether they talk the right way or trick people, they know what they're doing. So if you question it, do a little soul searching, and most likely, if you were like me, there's some traits that you'll pick up, and just fight to get yourself back, because it is doable. All right. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.